There are three kinds of guys in every room. The first one tries too hard. You can feel it in his voice, his posture, the way he nods too much when he talks. The second guy hides, blends in, says nothing. He thinks silence equals mystery, but it just looks like fear. Then there's the third type, the one who doesn't chase, doesn't hide, just stands there, centered, calm. You can't tell if he's rich, famous, or just doesn't care, but somehow he's the one everyone wants to talk to, especially her. If there's one thing I've learned from breaking down how high status men move, from Fortune 500 CEOs to special ops operatives, it's this: the less they reveal, the more control they hold. And when it comes to women, it's no different. Obsession doesn't come from giving her answers. It comes from making her search for them. All this time, you've been trained to be nice, to be open, to show interest fast so she knows you're serious. But here's the twist no one tells you. Women don't obsess over clarity. They obsess over tension. That subtle pull where they can't quite figure you out, where they think they've got your attention, but they're not sure if they've earned it yet. Think about the last time a girl made you chase. You started noticing the little things. How long it took her to reply, who she was with, why she didn't laugh at that joke like she did yesterday. This is the same cycle you're about to flip. But first, drop the worst dating advice you've ever followed in the comments, because the trick that makes women obsess is simple: controlled scarcity. Not ignoring her, not being cold, but mastering the art of holding back just enough to keep her wondering. Psychologists call this the uncertainty principle in attraction. In a now famous study by Dr. Erin Whitchurch at the University of Virginia, women were shown Facebook profiles of men who either liked them a lot, liked them a little, or left it unclear. Guess who they found most attractive? The uncertain ones. The guys they couldn't figure out. You know why? Because uncertainty triggers mental engagement. She starts thinking more, guessing more, investing more, and where the mind goes, the emotions follow. You really don't need to be rich. You don't need to be a 10 over 10. You just need to understand timing and restraint. Now picture this. You meet a girl. There's clear interest. She's laughing, leaning in, touching your arm. Most guys, they rush in. They text later that night. They over-validate. They want to lock it in. But what if you didn't? What if instead you waited 24 hours? What if your first message was short, playful, with no questions? What if you didn't ask to see her again right away, and instead let her sit with the last interaction replaying in her head? Most guys panic right here. They think if they don't act fast, they'll lose her. But that urgency, that need to secure her attention, it's exactly what kills the tension. And that gap is what most men are terrified of, because they think if they don't act fast, they'll lose her. But acting too fast is exactly what ruins it. Ask yourself, who texts first in your conversations? Who tries to keep it going when it starts to die? Who suggests plans more often? If the answer is always you, you're not leading, you're chasing. Because the more available you make yourself, the less special your presence becomes. So the next time you feel the urge to check your phone for her reply, don't. Let her sit in the silence. Let her feel the lack of your attention and watch what happens. Now, you might be thinking, what if she moves on? Good, let her. You weren't trying to hook someone with low interest. You were filtering. You were creating space for real tension to build. Obsession doesn't start when she feels safe. It starts when she feels seen, but not owned. I've watched guys with half my looks walk into rooms and pull the most attention without saying a word. You know why? Because they weren't performing. Their energy was calm, intentional, and controlled. It's the same energy used by actors like Ryan Gosling or Cillian Murphy. You ever notice how they speak in interviews? Barely moving, almost too slow, but you can't look away. That silence, that tension, it commands you. It's the same thing you can channel, starting right now. Don't speak to impress, speak to express, then stop. Don't fill the silence, let it stretch. Don't respond fast. Let her check her phone twice. You might want to screenshot this. Try it next time she pulls away. Because this is the real game, not ignoring her, but showing her that your time is deliberate, that your energy is earned, that you've got more going on than waiting on her text. She starts to notice something's different. You're not reacting like the other guys. You're not desperate for her replies. You don't even flinch when she takes hours to respond. And that contrast alone makes her curious. It makes her test you more. And this is where most men crumble. Because the moment she pulls back, they panic, they overcompensate, they start to ask, is something wrong? They send long texts explaining themselves. They try to fix a problem that doesn't even exist yet, and just like that, game over. The mystery dies. But here's the truth most men don't hear enough. Your silence is more powerful than your words. Your indifference is more attractive than your compliments. Why? Because attention is the most valuable currency in dating. And when you give it out too easily, it becomes worthless. But when you control it, everything shifts. This is the same principle used by elite marketing teams and luxury brands. Ever notice how the most in-demand products are the ones that aren't constantly available? It's because scarcity creates value, and your time, your energy, is no different. Let her feel the weight, let her wonder, let her ask herself what you're doing, who you're with, why you're not all over her like every other guy. And this isn't manipulation, it's self-respect. It's the same energy Jordan Peterson wrote about in his book 12 Rules for Life when he talks about standing up straight with your shoulders back. It's not about posture, it's about signaling competence, signaling that you don't beg, you lead, you choose. So here's your challenge. Next time you feel that urge to chase, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, is this coming from strength or from fear? And act from strength. Because the man who holds his energy becomes the one women chase. Here's a story you'll want to remember. Daniel went out with a girl he really liked. They vibed. She was into it, flirty, playful. After the date, he texted her a simple, "Had a great time." She didn't reply. Now, old Daniel would have followed up. "Hey, you okay?" Maybe called, maybe stalked her Instagram, but this time he did something different. He waited. He didn't post stories. He didn't reach out. He just went dark. 3 days later, she texted, "Sorry, been busy, you disappeared." He replied hours later with, "Yeah, I've been busy too." No emojis, no neediness, just energy. She asked to see him again. He made her wait 5 days. When they met, she admitted, "I couldn't stop thinking about you." You know why? Because he gave her space to feel it. Not guilt, not pressure, just space. And in that space, her interest grew. That's what most guys kill too soon. They rush to fill the silence. They chase because they're afraid to lose her. But here's the twist. If she walks away just because you didn't over-pursue, she was never really into you. You want the kind of woman who's intrigued by your restraint, who respects the fact that you don't hand yourself over like a clearance sale, who works to keep your attention because she senses it doesn't come easy. Let that sink in, because if you're watching this right now, you're already tired of chasing. You're tired of always being the one trying to keep it alive. And here's the good news. You don't have to. You just need to shift one thing, from pursuer to selector. Stop thinking, how do I get her to like me? Start thinking, is she even worth my attention right now? Because when that's your energy, everything changes, and she'll feel it before you ever say a word. So try it. Start small, delay the response, say less on the date, end the conversation first, and watch how fast her energy flips. You're not ghosting, you're not playing games, you're just living from a place of power instead of need. And here's the part that stings. Some women won't like it. They'll call you distant, cold, hard to read. Perfect. Because if they're not emotionally mature enough to handle a man with control, they'll label you instead of chasing you. And that just means they filtered themselves out. So keep going, hold your frame, respect your time, and watch her energy shift the moment she realizes you don't need her attention. That's the moment she starts fighting for it. You ever notice how the guys who don't care somehow always end up with the most options? It's not that they're better looking, it's not that they're richer, it's because their energy says one thing, I'm not here to prove myself. And that's the trick no one tells you. Obsession isn't created through effort. It's created through mystery, through moments where she realizes you're not trying to impress her. And that's rare. Most guys overshare. They trauma dump. They flex. They try to be funny, smart, charming, sexy, all at once. It's like watching a bad audition. You ever been around that guy? The one who won't stop talking about his gym routine, or what car he's about to buy, or how girls always like him. She sees right through it, and worse, she gets bored. But when you do the opposite, when you let her ask the questions, when you leave room for her to wonder what you're about, she leans in. And that's the goal. You don't want her entertained. You want her invested. It's the same tactic used in high-stakes negotiations by elite sales teams. Ever read Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference? He talks about tactical silence, letting the other person fill the space. The more they talk, the more they reveal. The more you sit in that calm, the more power you hold. Same principle, different arena. Now here's the part you'll want to remember. None of this works if you don't believe in your own value. If you're pretending to be calm, but inside you're begging for her to reply, she'll sense it. They always do. Confidence doesn't come from ignoring her. It comes from liking yourself more than you need her to like you. So build that life, not to impress her, but to forget about her. That's when you win, when your routine is full, your goals are active, your phone is quiet, but your mind is loud with purpose. You walk into the room like there's nothing to prove. You lock eyes once, then go right back to what you were doing. You talk less, you listen more, you ask better questions, you pause longer before you reply. And she starts to obsess. She replays that pause. She rewrites that silence. She wonders why you didn't try harder. She checks your page. She texts her friend, "Do you think he's into me?" And the second she starts asking that, you've won, because you did the one thing every other guy was too scared to do. You held the line. That's what controlled men do. That's what makes you stand out. That's what makes her chase. And the best part, it gets easier the more you practice. You'll start to notice how little effort it takes to stand out once you stop overgiving. You're not hiding. You're not playing hard to get. You're just not available to everyone, and that makes you rare. Stop thinking attraction is about doing. Start realizing it's about being still, being present, being selective. And if you can master that, the game changes fast, because women don't obsess over effort. They obsess over energy. They don't crave what's handed to them. They crave what they have to earn. And when your attention feels earned, not given, that's when she starts chasing something she can't quite name. That's when she starts wondering what you're not saying. That's when you go from being a nice guy to the one she can't stop thinking about. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to stop handing yourself away so easily. You already have what it takes. You just forgot how valuable it is. And once you remember, she will too. But you still have to build your respect, because all this is useless if she doesn't respect you. So watch this video next, where I reveal exactly how to build respect so strong you don't seek approval. I'll see you there.